Hi, welcome back to another video from Fresh Faces, New Ideas. I'm David, and this is part of the new format. So, like I said on my last live stream, the new format is going to be me doing smaller videos during the week, and then I will end with Friday live streams, and that's how I'm going to do it going forward. So, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to help, further the reach and who I can get to. Please follow me on Twitter. My hashtag is @FaceIdeas. You can also listen to me as the co-host of Center Left Radio, so you can find them at Center Left Radio on Twitter, or where you can get their podcast on Apple Podcasts. They're there as well. Or you can go to their website, centerleftradio.com. So what is the story that we're going to cover for this one? For this one, it's going to be the USA poll about which Republicans would stay with Donald Trump if he decided to create a new party, and those who would stay with the mainstream party. And the problem with this poll is that the people who are reading it, the regular Republicans, the non-Trump base of the Republicans are like, well, it's not so bad. We'll be fine. There's really no issue for us to worry about. But if you actually look at this poll and you read into the numbers, you realize that the base is with Donald Trump almost entirely. So according to this poll, 46% of the people polled would say that they would abandon the current Republican Party and join whatever new Trump party they did. So if you hear that and you say, oh, that's not so bad, that just means that there's, a majority of Republicans would still stay with the regular Republican Party. But the problem with that is two things. It's saying that if you're okay with only having 54% of your current base, that means you will never win an election again because you don't have the support. I mean, they didn't win elections with the full support of Donald Trump anyway, and the party. Donald Trump got the most votes of any Republican ever. And he got the second most votes of any presidential candidate of all time. The most was Joe Biden, the guy who beat him. But that's what they're looking at that, and they're like, you know what, that's not so bad. But if you dig into the numbers, it's even worse than that, because it says of those, 27% wouldn't drop the GOP. So that means that if you have 46% already leaving to join a Trump party, you're left with 54%, and half of those are saying, you know what, I might not even say Republican anyway. So at best, you're looking at somewhere between 54 and 27% of whatever your current base is. And that's, absurd. So 54% of them also said they're more loyal to Trump than they are to the Republican Party. So that's the entire. So all this keeps showing is that there's a vast majority of Republicans who are currently following Donald Trump rather than following the rest of the Republican Party. And it gets even worse than that when you look into some of the other things. So some of the other things in this poll says that 58% of, or let me rephrase it, 85% of the people who were surveyed in this poll said that they would vote for Donald Trump in the next general election for president. So that means 15% of Republicans are saying, no, I'm not going to vote for him in 2024 if he wins. So I don't know what Michael Steele thinks he's going to do with that 15%, and I don't know where if even that's an accurate number, because remember, we heard of this a lot from the Lincoln Project and all these other people. Like, there's actually good Republicans, and they're going to reject Donald Trump, and they're going to go over to Joe Biden because Joe Biden is somebody that they can see and they can work with, and that's what these people keep telling us. And then it didn't happen. They just didn't appear. There's these anti-Trump Republicans. They're all just made up people on the television. There's no poll that indicates that there was some massive swing of voters who went from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. There just isn't. The other is that 76% of them said that right now they would currently vote for Donald Trump over any other nominee in the field. So, and look, we've seen this there have been poll after poll that shows, when you put up the people for the 2024, it's usually Donald Trump is like 68% or something, and then you have Mike Pence, who's at 14%, and then it's Don Jr. and Ted Cruz, or at 14 or at 6%. Then you go down to Josh Hawley, who's at 1. But that's generally where the party is. And the problem with this is the people in Washington, they're not realizing where the movement comes from. And this is similar to what happened on the Democratic side with Bernie both times. They don't realize that the people are fed up with the general politicians, and they want something different. They looked at Donald Trump, and after 4 years of seeing that he wasn't really helping them, partly because a vast majority of his audience was stuck listening to Fox News or OAN or Newsmax, and all they would say is whatever they wanted in order to make sure it looked like Donald Trump was the greatest thing ever. Most famously, and to me the most hilarious are these Trump ads where it was like during some of the protests that turned into more violent, they would say under Joe Biden's America, this is what would happen as it was currently happening under Donald Trump's America. But the thing is, like, they're not reading these polls and they're saying, okay, well, how do we get it to our people? Because they're saying, you know what, good riddance, we don't care about them. Which, look, if you believe that the current Republican Party is an existential threat and that they can't govern and they're not good for the future of the country, this is good news from this poll because it looks like the infighting is actually there. You always hear about Democratic infighting, but it's we're not looking at it something like this. It's we're pushing for things that people want, and then there's the mainstream establishment Democrats who fight us on every turn. There's those people, but we're not saying that like 80% of the party is going to just follow Bernie if Bernie left. He understands where he has to be in order to push this party and the country in the right direction, and the people behind him understand that, and the voters understand that. That's why Bernie was so popular against Hillary Clinton, and that's why he was so popular in this last election. And that's why people like AOC are so popular, because the people realize that they're actually there trying to help them, and that's what they're pushing for. But even in this poll, it gets even worse than that, some of the things that they're polling. So they polled them about the January 6th riot and the insurrection and who was responsible for it. Of it, 58% of the people in this poll said that it was Antifa who was involved in the riot, that it was Antifa caused the riot, and only 28% thought it was Trump supporters. Now, there is no way you can look at this poll, and this actually gets even worse than that, as I might explain in a second. You can look at what happened and say, you know what? All those people wearing Trump flags, all those people who went to the Trump rally, all those people who said, I'm doing this for Donald Trump, all those people who were chanting, stop the steal, they were actually Antifa undercover, pretending to be Trump supporters in order to make Donald Trump look bad. And now, when you hear you say it, it sounds crazy. But it's even worse than that, because there's currently, and this is something I'll try to go over in the next couple of days, Ron Johnson is in the meeting today. On the 23rd, they had their first hearing with Capitol Police about what happened and how to get to the bottom of it. He was literally sitting there spitting out this false information that, it's actually the police's fault and that Antifa was there, because you couldn't have Trump supporters do it because they're pro police, and they would never be the ones who would force such a terrible thing to happen. You would never see them attacking them with Blue Lives Matter flags. That's why this is not a Trump supporter thing. So look, I don't ultimately know what to say to reach people who are so invested in this that they believe this is Antifa, or they're so invested in Donald Trump. The right answer to it is not that you expose him as a fraud and how weak he is, and that his policies didn't actually help the people, because they already seen these things and they don't care. The answer is you have to have a party that's set up to fight against the things that he set up. And you do that by passing policy that people want, whether it's a minimum wage healthcare, minimum wage, not Josh Hawley's fake, $10, or Joe Manchin's not enough $11. You push something for like $15 minimum wage. You push for further expansion of healthcare. You push for removing student debt. You push against these things, and you push for the things that the American people want. And in order to and to do that, that's how you will get these people. You will break them away from Donald Trump, because this idea that he has this huge base isn't as solid if you prove that his ideas aren't right, and that you can actually give him a good counter to it. Because the counter can't just be, Orange Man bad. The counter has to be, Orange Man is bad, and this is what we're doing for you in order to make things better. And from there, you can then make people see, because he's always going to have some base of support. There's always going to be some percentage of Republicans who are so far into Fox News, and they're so far into OAN, and they're so far into Newsmax, that they're just going to live in a different reality. They're going to say that COVID was fake. They're going to say that the snow now has metal in it, and they're going to say the Green New Deal is already passed and destroyed Texas's energy supply. There's always going to be those people. But in order to truly break away from these people, you have to push for policies that the rest of the country wants, and then that will substantially make people's lives better. And once you do that, you'll be able to make these people, or at least the ones who are amenable to the actual reality of what's happening around them, they will see, oh, this is not the right way for me to do it, and they will come back. Whether they come back to a Republican Party that seems to only understand that the only thing their job is to do is to tweet and own the libs and then just lie about everything, or they move to a Democratic Party that's actually fighting for something, or attempting to, not just giving lip service like it kind of seems like that's coming out of the Biden administration, but has a chance to actually pass things for the people. That's how you break the hold of power for Donald Trump. So, once again, if you have any more questions and comments, or you want me to dive further into this, please leave a comment below, or hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter hashtag is @FaceIdeas. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.